about Tyreek Hill. I mean, of course, this guy has elite physical qualities that makes him the fastest guy in the NFL, or one of the fastest at least. But some of his approach is very much like a sprinter. I mean, he is a sprinter. So he's sprinting a lot in high school, and he picked up a lot of things that helps him be an elite speed um, weapon in the NFL and on the football field. And every sport athlete can really learn a lot from this. Really, just using some of these shapes, the angles, and the approach to the ground that Tyreek uses here. This is just one play we're going to analyze. We can see a lot of what he's doing and how he approaches it. And it's pretty much the same stuff we talk about when we're talking about sprinting and track and field as well. So just starting out here, here's Tyreek. And he's initially in a more of a in a football stance that he's using in order to see what the play is, when the ball's going to get hiked is what he's looking for. So he's not really in his sprint stance just yet for speed. But as soon as the ball is snapped, since football is not like track where you got to worry about reaction time from a standpoint of, making sure your hips and ankles are at the right spot right when the ball is snapped, because it's not going to make a difference for him whether he gets, he's in this type of stance right away. Now, on a side note, if you look at the defensive linemen, they are pretty much, they want to be in an explosive horizontal push stance from the very beginning. So this is Max Crosby here, an elite pass rusher. And look at his angles, the shin angle he's in. He's a very low shin angle here, at least in the back, pretty low for the front. And when he goes to push, look at that shin angle, it drops. He is pushing off like a sprinter coming out of the blocks. As soon as his ball is hiked, the ball is here. The ball just got hiked. He's already in a stance like that. Tyreek, on the other hand, is not quite in that type of stance because it doesn't matter to him that much to be in that stance. But Max Crosby pushes off horizontally. He's trying to get up on this offensive lineman as fast as possible. Look at those angles, the shin angles, the push. Of course, it is, he's got to get it ready for a collision, so he's getting a little more vertical than a track runner was. So that's just a side note. But here's Tyreek. He gets, as the ball, after the ball's hiked, look at the shin angle down. He drops it in order to get a push, a horizontal push. So he's pushing off horizontally. His back leg is coming through just like a sprinter on his first two steps. He's bringing a very low heel recovery. Look how it's basically parallel to the ground, how his shin angle is as he's pulling it through. He strikes the ground just under his hip. Boom. Same thing on the next one. He's pushing back. This is kind of not direct. It's pretty much under his hip. If he was sprinting in a 60-meter dash, ideally he'll be hitting behind his foot, collide on the ground behind his hips. But all of this is horizontal, push. So this is what's making him be able to use his power from his hips in order to speed himself down the field, just like a sprinter. I mean, he's sprinting. And then when he catches the ball here, he's going to speed away from the defenders by using the same type of approach, a push back. Boom. He's pushing back, whipping from the hip, whip. And he's got great bounce off the ground. His foot and ankle strength is elite like any fast guy is, so he's not collapsing on the ground. And even though this is grass, he's like bounce off it. And he's, it's all because he's whipping from the hip. The natural thing to do, just like Dion, is to high step it, boom. It's the same action. It's the same. He's getting his power from here. Whip down, whip from the hip. It's just something to look at to kind of correlate with what we see with our sprinting